The Bhagavad Gita is not just for Arjun, it is for all of us. We all who complain, why have these challenges come to me? It is for us to realize that in and through our challenges, Bhagwan wants to awaken us to a greater opportunity. Bhagwan gives us the bitter medicine of disappointments to awaken us to a greater version of ourselves. And just as in Arjuna's pain was his growth opportunity, so too in our disappointments is our opportunity to level up. Everyone knows how the Bhagavad Gita begins. It begins with Arjuna completely breaking down in the middle of the Kurukshetra battlefield. And even though the first chapter of the Srimad Bhagavad Gita is called Arjuna Vishada Yoga, Arjuna's breakdown, this breakdown isn't a message of despair. It's the message of hope. And how Bhagwan shifts Arjun from a position of despair to a place of hopefulness is the focus of today's video. And if this type of content on the Bhagavad Gita, sharing not just the message, but how it applies to our lives is of interest to you, then I suggest that you subscribe to the channel now itself. This is a small step for you, but it's a huge contribution in our efforts to share the practical wisdom of the Bhagavad Gita. Before Bhagwan speaks his first words in the Gita, it is said, Shri Bhagawan Vacha. Now we must understand why it says Shri Bhagawan Uvacha. It could easily have said Shri Krishna Uvacha. Uvacha means spoke. Shri Krishna spoke. You see, in the word Bhagavad Gita, Bhagavad stands for Bhagavan. Bhagavan's song, Bhagavad Gita. In the same way, there's a Puran called Bhagavat Puran, which is the Puran of Bhagavan, also known as Srimad Bhagavatam. In English, for the divine, we only have one word, which is God. But Srimad Bhagavatam, for this divine, gives us three beautiful words, each of which has a deep meaning. The first one is Brahman, not Brahmaji or Brahmin. Brahman is that aspect of the divine which is the underlying reality for all things and beings. Brahman is that divine substratum on which this entire creation, us included, appear and into which we merge. The second word that's given is Paramatma. Paramatma is that divine presence in all of us that gives us life. Paramatma is our essential being. It is the divine present in us all. And the third beautiful word that is given is Bhagavan. In Sanskrit and in Hindi as well, someone who has something is called that thing plus Van. So if someone has Bala or strength, they are called Balavan. If someone has Dhan, wealth, then they are called Dhanavan. If they have Vidya, knowledge, then they are called Vidyavan. So Bhagavan means that he has Bhaga. What is this Bhaga? Bhaga means one who possesses in complete measure all of the 6 attributes that are required to be attractive. What attracts us? Wealth, knowledge, influence, strength, beauty, and apart from these 5, the inner quality that we all find attractive is a sense of renunciation. And that presence in possession of all of these we venerate and call Bhagavan. And so, when this being speaks in the Bhagavad Gita, it is said, Shri Bhagavan Uvacha. Now, Bhagavan finds Arjuna in the middle of the battlefield, dejected, unable to speak. And we might think such a benevolent divine being will speak words of comfort. Instead, if you hear his words, Bhagavan speaks harshly to Arjuna. Kutastha akashmalamidam vishame samupastitam anaryajushtama akirtikaram arjuna klaibhyam masmagamah partha naitattayupapadyate kshudram hridaya daurbalyam tyaktvottishta parantapa. We too must wonder, why does this divine Bhagavan, with all of these wonderful qualities, speak such harsh words to Arjuna? Arjuna, who is completely broken down. The answer is straightforward. To get Arjuna out of that state of despair that he finds himself in, Bhagwan gives him a shock treatment. And even today, in the most serious of illnesses, when we need to jolt our body out again, we are given the toughest, the most bitter of medicines. For someone who is suffering from cancer, they are given chemotherapy, they are given radiotherapy. Why? Because these medicines can shift them from their state of illness to get on to the path of wellness again. And that is exactly what Bhagwan does with these seemingly harsh words. And these words of Bhagwan allow Arjuna to get focused on why exactly he is despairing. How, O Madhusudana, shall I in battle fight with arrows against Bhishma and Drona, who are fit to be worshipped, O destroyer of enemies? In focusing his mind as to the core reason why he doesn't want to fight, Arjuna also realizes that he on his own can't rationally figure out what to do next. And as a result of this, he surrenders to Bhagwan. My heart is overpowered by the taint of pity. My mind is confused as to duty. I ask thee, tell me decisively what is good for me. I am thy disciple. Instruct me who have taken refuge in thee. Arjuna, we know, has the same insecurity as Duryodhana. And just as how Duryodhana acted pompously in his insecurity, Arjuna too pompously asked to be placed in the middle of the battlefield. And when triggered, just as Duryodhana had raved and ranted, Arjuna too raved and ranted. But what is the difference between Duryodhana and Arjuna? The difference is that Arjuna surrendered to Bhagwan. The Bhagavad Gita is truly for winners. It's for those people of achievement who have gotten to the highest level of success in whatever they have done, and then realized that there is more to life. And then realized that they alone can't walk the path. It is those ones and those ones alone who truly surrender. So this act of surrender to the divine is not an act of helplessness. It is not an act of dejection. It is an act of realization. To be able to cross, there is only one hand that can take us, and that is the divine hand of Bhagwan. The Bhagavad Gita is not just for Arjuna, it is for all of us. We all who complain and say, why me? Why have these challenges come to me? It is for us to realize that in and through our challenges, Bhagwan wants to awaken us to a greater opportunity. And in the same way that Bhagwan delivered the shock treatment that we have discussed in these verses, Bhagwan gives us the bitter medicine of disappointments to awaken us to a greater version of ourselves, to be able to push us to overcome our limitations. And just as in Arjuna's pain was his growth opportunity, so too in our disappointments is our opportunity to level up. The rest of what Bhagwan starts to discuss here is this story of how we level up. And if you want to be part of understanding not just Bhagwan's message, but how we can all apply it in our lives, then make sure that you tune in to these videos. This isn't an idle philosophical discussion. This is to bring to life the great words of Bhagwan that have been given to us and carried over time immemorial by the lineage of gurus. This wonderful message is what, through the grace of Bhagwan, I am able to share with you today. And if you have found value in this message, then my request to you is, please share it with others. Let's act like small diyas, small lamps where one is lit and allows itself to light the other. And that other one that has this light of knowledge then lights the other. And so, even in a field of darkness, we suddenly see the divine light of Vedic Shastras. My name is Om Dhumatkar. It has been a blessing to share this message of the Bhagavad Gita with you today. If you liked it, do subscribe to our channel, do comment below, let us know what you thought. And I look forward to seeing you again very, very, very soon with more wisdom, not just from the Bhagavad Gita, but also from the Hanuman Chalisa. Namaste.